Okay, good morning. So let's start. We're up to Siman Shin Samach Gimel Seif Chof Zayin, working through this long Siman. Says the Machaba, Chotze she'arka yose al rachbay. Now, if you picture a regular chotze, if you take a look, for example, at any of the pictures on this page, 96 or the next one, you've got a mavoi and then you've got a chotze. The chotze is normally wider than it is long. So if it's not, if it's, says the Mechaba, if it's long, you walk into the chotz and it's like a long and more narrow, dinay kamavoi, it's got a din of a mavoi. V'nita balechi oikaira, and therefore all you need is a lechi or a oikaira. Says the Rama, afal pi she'ein chatzeres bottom besuchin l'soicha, even though you haven't got chatzeres and bottom which are open onto it like a regular mavoi, hayel ve'ena karav l'rishus rabim, since it doesn't abut a Rishus Rabbim, but rather it abuts a Mavoi, which then so therefore it's still nevertheless treated like a Mavoi. Okay, says the Mishnah Berurah, Kuf Tezayin, She'arka Yosal Rochbay, Afilu Mashu, even a small amount. V'arka Mikri Derech Knisaso. The Orach is called when you come in that direction. Ve'ein Nidin Mishum Chotze. And when is it treated like a chotzer? When the length and the width are equal, or where it's wider, which is the normal situation. Okay, good. Chavches. Mavu she'ein berach b'shleisha tvachim. What if you got a very narrow mavu? Mavu she'ein rach b'shleisha tvachim. It hasn't got a width of the entrance of 3 tvachim. Ein atzarich shum tikkun. You don't need to do anything. It's as if it's all closed up, and therefore we're not chayshish that you'll confuse it with the Rishus Rabbim because it's just too narrow. It's not 3 tefachim, but it's 4 tefachim. That's when you don't need the tikkun. Okay, says the Mishnah Berurah, Kuf Yud Zayin, she'ein berach v'shleisha tefachim. V'kasu ha'mefarshim. If you haven't got 3 tefachim at the entrance, ein tzarich tikkun. You don't need to be mesakin it to put a lechi or a kur or anything like that. Even though, even though the inside of the chotze, of the mov, is very wide, and even according to the Yeshomim, we say that you need 4 tvachim, it's also referring to where it's 4 tvachim on all the walls. But when it's just very narrow at the entrance, then you don't need a tikkun even if it's very wide further in. It seems that the Machaba is going, essentially, he follows the Deir Rishona, there's 3 and not 4. That when it's 3 wide, Sarich tikkun. He says you can be makel and go like the second opinion, i.e. that if it's only 4 tefachim wide at the beginning, it's there's no concern and you don't need to have any tikkun. Ein sham. In my humble opinion, says the Chaim, it seems to afim nachmir kader rishona, even if we are machmir like the first day, i.e. that it's 3 tefachim not 4, the hechad sherach shlosh tefachim tikkun. That in Nachmi Kadeh Rishona, so if you go, you're machmi like the first opinion that if it's 3 tefachim wide, you do need the tikkun, 3 or more. That's only if on the inside it's at least 4 wide, and it just gets narrower at the entrance. But if the whole mavoi is only 4 tefachim wide, it's just this very long, narrow thing, then yesh lahakel, that you don't need to do a tikkun to that mavoi. Okay, so those are 2 short seifim. So in Chof Zayin we said that a chotzer is normally wider than it is long, or even if it's square, that's when you need all the tikkunim for the chotzer. But if the chotzer happens to be very long and narrow, i.e. archa yosal rochbay, then it's got a status of a mavoi, and all you need is a lechi or a kaira. That's what we said in Chof Zayin. In Chof Ches, we're saying that if the entrance to the mavoi is very narrow, then you don't need any tikkun because all of the concerns are not really applicable. Okay, Chof Tes. Let's go. Chof Tes. Mavu shetzidu echot kol alayom. Now this is a famous case. It's at the beginning of Erev in there, Daf Hey. This is a case, if you look at picture number 105, you've got an interesting case where you've got your two chatzeros, or many chatzeros, houses, at least two houses in each chatzer, and then they lead on to a mavoi. Now the mavoi is mafulush, it's open, but on each end it makes it not mafulush, because on one end you've got a sea at the front end, and at the back end you've got an ashpa. You've got like a rubbish heap. So let's take a look. Says the Mechaber, Mavoi shetzidoi echod kol leyom, v'tzidoi echod kol la'ashpa shel rabim, and the other side is become like a rubbish heap, a garbage heap. Ein tzorech klum. In this situation, you don't need any tikkun. She'ashpa shel rabim ein asuy lispanos, because the ashpa shel rabim ein asuy lispanos. No one's going to take away that communal garbage heap. And we're not worried that the sea is going to recede. Pirush, what does that mean? Is going to dry up. The beginning of the sea is going to dry up, and your mechitza has gone. Or the water is going to sort of leave from there. That it's going to become an area where you can plant things, and we're not worried about that. And there are those who are choylek, as they know. We are worried that the area of the sea could dry up, and therefore it could become like a regular field and plantable. And if that's the case, your mechitza has gone away. Okay, let's see the Mishnah Berurah for detail. So, now what the Mishnah Berurah is going to effectively do here is going to describe the picture in 105. So, says the Mishnah Berurah, the Mavoi has got two ends. One end of the Mavoi ends in the sea. That's the front of it, and at the back of it is la Ashpa. And the Ashpa is like a big heap of rubbish, of garbage. And it's basically 10 tefachim from the ground. Because not only is the ashpa a mechitza, but the yam at the front is also a mechitza. Because at the sea bank, it's got a height of 10 tefachim in the bank of the sea. And just because there's water in there doesn't mevatel mechitza. That we're talking about a situation where boats don't go past into a nearby harbour. Because otherwise the rabbim, i.e. the seafarers, are going to come along and they'll be mevatel mechitza. And others argue and say no, even if boats pass through, we are not, that does not mevatel the shei mechitza at the front of the mavoi. If, however, it's not a sea, but it's a river flowing past, v'yesh gesher olov, and there is a bridge, shemahalchim bei rabim le'eva hasheni, and there he's got a picture in 107. Can you see 107? There, you've got exactly the same. You've got an ashpa at the back, and instead of the sea at the front, you've got a river, and you've got a bridge going over the river, which gives you access outside. So again, just as it gets wide in the Mishnah Berurah, because of you've got a gesher there, that is mispatel, it takes away the effect of the mechitza, because the mechitza, if you think about it, is underneath the gesher. It's on the riverbank. And therefore, to permit you to carry in your mavoi, you're going to need a tzuras hapesach at the entrance of the mavoi, like he's got in picture 107. Okay, so everyone. Yeah, but it's got to be. We'll see soon that it's got to be 10 tefachim within a distance of 4 amos, which is quite a steep bridge. So 4 amos is whatever from me to the whatever the svarim over there, let's say, and it rises quite far. So you're not gonna, it won't be a very good bridge. V'chol zeh dafka, and this is your point, Paul. V'chol zeh dafka k'shesfas hayom ayanar hayomak hasar tefachim. it's got to be that the river bank or the sea bank is 10 tefachim deep. Aval im svas hayom v'hanor mushpa v'hoilech is a gradual incline. Im kishoilech hashipua arba amos adayin ein gvei asor tefachim ein mechitza. Because if it goes 4 amos and it doesn't rise to a height of 10 tefachim, that's not considered a good mechitza. It's got to be a sort of a sharper incline. To bekarka shavatomi, that's just like ground. Okay, so again, you're talking about a situation where you've got a Mavoi and Ashpa on one end and a Nahar or a Yam on the other end. That serves as a mechitza. Both ends, the Ashpa, which is 10 tefachim high at the one end, and the Nahar at the other end, serves as a mechitza, and therefore you don't need any tikkun, you can carry in the Mavoi. You've got 2 mechitzas, as it were, on either end of the Mavoi. However, why is that? Because the Ashpa is Shel Rabim, and Eina Asuya Lehispano. Says the Mishnah Berurah Kuf Yotes, Shari Kol Hayoyim Mashlichin Shreifcheihem V'Zivleihem Sham, because the whole day people are throwing their garbage there. V'Loi Techsar Gova, and it's not going to take away the height which serves as a mechitza. Aval Ashpa de Yochid, but if it's Ashpa belongs to an individual, Aval Gav the Hash to Gvei Asor Tvachim, even though right now it might be 10 Tvachim, Lemochi Yenaka V'Yechsa Gavusa. Tomorrow the guy can take it away. He's doing it, he just wants to clear away his Ashpa. V'Imnati Atal Taltel, and if you allow people to carry the Mavoi based on that Ashpa de Yochid, you're going to have a problem, because you tell to Gamachkach Sheyechsa Gavusa. You're going to allow people to carry even in a situation where he's taken his Ashpa away, when there's no mechitza there anymore, or it's reduced to lower than 10 tvachim. Kufchav ve'ein choshen shemayeh alam sirtan. And we're not choshesh. We allow you to use the yam as a mechitza, and we're not worried that it will dry up and you'll come to plant and to use the nahar or the yam in that way. Ve'ein choshen, says Mishnah Berurah, ratzolem shegamin choshen shem yiskalkel ha'mechitza sheletzad hayam v'nimsa she'ein lemavah mechitza revius. We're not worried that the yam, this mechitza, is going to fall away. Ya'ala hayam sirtan shekein derech hayam, because the way of the sea is shema'ale chol va'avonim etzel sfasoi. It leaves debris of sand and of stones by the edge. Umiskatze v'nase karka b'reichav parsa. And over time it sort of it becomes land and it's lost its mechitza. And therefore people will carry in the muas kadmekar like they always used to, and but they don't realize that they're used to able to carry them in the mavoi because they had a good mechitza, and right now your mechitza is gone, and therefore it's not good enough to carry there. Now that's only true when there's a slope. But if there is a quite a sharp slope at the edge of the Mavoi going down from there, then it doesn't make a difference, because even if the sea dries out, you've got a good incline and you've got a good mechitza. That we should be choishesh for the second opinion, which says and we are choishesh that the sea will dry up and your mechitza will be no good, and therefore you should have a tzuras haPesach at the entrance of the Mavoi where it faces the sea. Okay, now carrying on, the Mishnah Berurah, we'll just finish off this sif. Okay, now v'dafka b'yamim. All of this is true, dafka, when we're talking about seas. Aval b'naharos, but if it's a river, lo ychashin and sheyale sirtun. We're not worried that the river is going to dry up. It's because rivers in the summer months, they do tend to dry up. And when they dry up, you won't have a slope of 4 amos long with a height of 10 tefachim. Going up 10 tefachim within 4 tefachim. Sorry, you won't have a height of 10 tefachim within 4 amos. And therefore, yesh le'esar below tikkun, it would be also to carry in the Mavoi without remedying this Mavoi, without a tikkun, i.e. tzuras haPesach at the front. Afilu kashalei nisyabish, even when it's not dried up, because with choishesh it will dry up. Tachashin nisyabish v'lavadait, and he won't notice. V'al kol ponim bo'inin shehanar somach mamish l'reish haMavoi. That is only true when the Nahar is really close to the Mavoi. But that when can the river bank serve as a mechitza? When it's close by. But if it's further away, 10 amas away, then tzarich tikun. To Eisa Mokum have a parrots because that place is treated like it's fully open. Now what about if the river freezes up? So in the summer it dries up, and in the river it freezes up. Yeah, we all have heard the stories. My father used to say that his Zayda used to break the ice, and in the Russian winters, you see pictures even in other places. So what happens if your river ice is over? Botla oz hamachitza va'osel taltal. Then, if it ice is up, then your mechitza is gone, and it's osel taltal. Why? Because really the nahar is just flat, and therefore you haven't got the riverbank. The riverbank is gone because it's all iced over. Because it's just iced over, the riverbank is still there, so that's a machlekes. If, however, the riverbank, there is an incline going down into the river, and then the river freezes over, then bevada yesh lahakel, because even you've got an area above the frozen river, the frozen water, which serves as a mechitza. Okay, let's just finish off. And we said that if it dries up and ya'ale sirto and then enkan mechitza, v'alkein tzorich tikun kasham mavoi, and therefore you need a regular tikun like any other mavoi, haparetz beruach revias, which is open on the fourth side. But tzuras haPesach or belech or either you have a tzuras haPesach or you have a lech or a koira. That's it. Now, ir shemukov sviva choretz. What if you've got a ditch going around the city? You sometimes see this, like in castles, you have a ditch going around all the way around. It's sort of a safety thing or to prevent animals coming in. Ir shemukov sviva choretz. What if you've got a ditch all the way around the city, she'omuk asar tfachim, which is 10 tfachim deep, or a chava abra tfachim, and it's 4 tfachim wide. It's 10 tfachim deep and it's 4 tfachim wide. Then have a kamuk of chema. That's as if it's got a wall all the way around it, seviva ve'ena tzricha shum tikun, and therefore you won't need any tikun. Then you can carry in it. If, however, there's a bridge over the choretz, then, like we said above, that's you've lost your mechitza, as it were, and then you need to do a tikkun. You need to put a tzuras haPesach, or at least a lechi or a koira, on the entrance of that mavoi. Say that. Okay, I think it's a good place to stop.